Vor langer Zeit lebten die Menschen glücklich und zufrieden. Niemand bemerkte den Schatten, der sich langsam über ihnen ausbreitete. Die Dunkelheit trübte ihre Sinne und das Böse fraß sich tief in ihre Seelen. Vom Wahnsinn getrieben schmiedeten sie einen Pakt mit dem Teufel. Zu später Stunde kamen sie zusammen, um gemeinsam die Mächte der Finsternis mit ihrem sündigen Blut zu rufen. Sie zu erlösen von ihrer sterblichen Existenz, den Anbeginn einer neuen Welt vor Augen. Und so begab es sich, dass nach 100 Jahren das Böse wieder Fleisch geworden war. Als unsterbliches Geschöpf der Nacht kann es die Gestalt des Wolfs, der Fledermaus oder des Nebels annehmen. Es labt sich am Blut der Menschen. Dracula, der Fürst der Finsternis, Herr des Teufelsschlosses, ist auferstanden.
Pretty intense intro. Happy Halloween everyone, and welcome to Spooky Bits 2. So this year, instead of doing a bunch of short segments, I've decided to look at just one game, Dracula X Rondo of Blood. It's a game that's eluded me for some time now, so I made a concerted effort to find it and finish it. And I did. Now I'm sure that a lot of you may only be familiar with the popular SNES port Castlevania Dracula X, which is perfectly fine. The game is fantastic, but given that Rondo of Blood was released for the TurboGrafx 16, or PC Engine as it's known in Japan and France, it's understandable that this one may have flown under your radar. Those who enjoyed the captivating tale of Castlevania Dracula X, or Vampire's Kiss as it's known in Europe, may be pleased to know that it came from perhaps the finest of all Castlevania pedigrees. Using assets from Rondo of Blood, it had redesigned levels, a similar plot, and did an amicable job of replicating the music, given that it didn't have the benefit of CD sound such as with the TurboGrafx CD-ROM add-on attachment. So while the TurboGrafx 16 certainly had an impressive array of add-ons and a powerful chipset, running on an 8-bit CPU in combination with a 16-bit GPU, Sega and Nintendo's domination of the European and North American markets meant that the TurboGrafx 16 couldn't get the third-party developers and publishers it needed in order to succeed, and thus faded into obscurity, despite selling exceedingly well in Japan. Needless to say, if you wish to play TurboGrafx games, your options are hunting down an original console, starting it at around $185, or emulation. I do however see that a TurboGrafx 16 Mini is set to release worldwide in 2020, continuing the current trend of official emulation hardware that seems to be so popular at the moment. Developed by Konami, Rondo of Blood is the 10th Castlevania game in the series and was originally a Japanese exclusive but has since been released for PSP via the PlayStation Network. It's included in the Castlevania Requiem package for PS4, as well as a Wii U Virtual Console download, so there's options. Set in 1792, you play as Richter Belmont, who's trying to rescue his beloved Annette from the clutches of Dracula and his seemingly limitless army of minions. And as I'm sure you're wondering, this game continues the Castlevania tradition of being hard. Nightmarishly stupid hard. In the beginning it's not so bad. Pretty normal stuff here, but in no time flat you'll feel the pain of not being able to use the whip diagonally.
What did he say, dear?
Diagonally.
I thought he did.
Or up for that matter. I guess the thought process was, this is why you have sub-weapons, so fucking use them. Well, either that or Konami were just plain sadistic. So throwing these axes, and there we go. One dead golem. I mean, they look big and scary, but okay, fuck, here's another one. They look big and scary, but they're really not that formidable. Pretty simple. I mean, it's early days, and these as big as they look, they're not they're really not that bad. Okay. I see a dragon in the background. Okay. So I like this. This is the pre-boss music. Well, I think it was called something like preparation music. You're getting ready to fight the boss. So they give you like a whole bunch of power-ups and they give you a whole bunch of power-ups and stuff to prepare you for the boss battle. And this dragon, the first time I fought him, kicked my ass, but I mean, second time around, piece of cake. Rondo of Blood also features the item crash ability. It's basically a super screen clearing attack, and it changes depending on which sub-weapon you have equipped at the time. Though be wary, they use a lot of heart, so for me I couldn't really justify their use given the cumulative damage benefit of sub-weapon attacks such as the axe or cross. But for the most part, only being able to use the whip left or right certainly adds to the challenge. I guess. Some enemies like these zombies will only come at you from left or right and do nothing but plow into you. Pretty easy, right? But lose focus for a split second or jump the wrong way and these guys will bury you in no time flat. And you don't even have the benefit of temporary invulnerability when you get hit. Well, if you do, I didn't fucking notice. Ah yes, the unending hordes of fucking zombies. Just keep on coming from both directions, and then they'll still throw like these. Jump, kill. They'll still throw these creepy eyes at you. But you can get overwhelmed pretty quickly. I mean, it's not like they're using complicated attack patterns, but if you don't pay attention, they're gonna knock you down on your ass. Yep, it's boss time. There we go. Shit. Fucking the first. This wasn't the first time I had to escape the behemoth, but the first time it just ripped out of the fucking window. It scared the shit out of me. Okay, come on, let's go. Basically, just outrun him. Just keep on. There you go. Outrun him. Jump up there. He'll run into the wall. It's fucking dead. While Rondo of Blood certainly has its fair share of irritating enemies, ravens, various knights, and pain-in-the-ass flea riders, flea men riding on specially trained war geese, to mention a few, it goes without saying that there are plenty of tough boss battles throughout this game. But for Rondo of Blood, tough bosses alone weren't enough. Eventually, you'll have to fight your way through a grueling boss gauntlet, and perhaps even worse than that, how about the pissed-off, undead versions of previous bosses? But all at once. Fucking hell, just look at this shit. I mean, what was the thought process here? Nah, make it harder, but don't make new bosses. How about this? Let's use old bosses. Huh? But all at once. We'll see if they still like Castlevania after this. Despite incorporating elements from previous Castlevania titles, Rondo of Blood has removed the time limit and emphasizes exploration thanks to the non-linear nature of certain levels. Find a hidden pathway or alternative route, and the enemies and even the boss battle will subsequently be different. This in turn greatly enhances the replayability of the game. Apart from hidden routes, there is always food hidden in the masonry, more so than previous games I'd say. Is it still edible? Should you eat it? Probably not, but 5-second rule, right? And if you know where to look, you'll also be able to obtain a key that will allow you to unlock a hidden character, the young huntress Maria Renard, a distant relative of the Belmont family. She uses doves as her primary attack, as well as animal spirits as sub-weapons, and even has a special attack called the Guardian Knuckle. Maria is far more nimble than Richter, and has a very handy double jump, making her a good choice for novice players. Prior to Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Rondo of Blood was indisputably the best looking Castlevania title with impressively atmospheric and brooding visuals. The fantastic animated opening sets the tone wonderfully, and the prologue level frames the game perfectly, giving you an idea of what's to come. The locations are highly animated and dynamic, and are structured both horizontally and vertically, with plenty of parallax scrolling and ambient effects punctuating the visuals. Sprites are impressively detailed, with many, such as the golem, being multi-jointed masses of pixel goodness, and bosses, as expected, are the impressive highlights of the show, even if some of them, such as the final confrontation with Dracula himself, are more than a little familiar. For what is essentially an 8-bit title, there's no denying that Rondo of Blood is a remarkable looking game. Oh, there he is. Oh, fuck, he's just waiting for me. He's been waiting for me the whole time. Fucking asshole. There we go. Yep, just like the NES version, he'll materialize, you'll hit him, and then he'll attack. So hit him in the face. Accumulating damage there. So I actually got it down pat before of the last attempt at this. Wait for him to fully materialize, then hit him in the face. He'll obviously take damage. He'll then have either one or two attacks, which is the fireballs, which you can use your cross to destroy them. And then the second one is like these energy balls. You can jump over the first one, or duck under the first one and jump over the second one. So I just keep repeating this until he's defeated. Although, once you've defeated him, just like the NES version, then he reveals his true form. The giant ass fucking monster. Anyway. But all in all, I think Dracula was actually one of the easier bosses, to be honest. I mean, there are some, that fucking boss gauntlet and the resurrection of all those other ones, fuck, you know. Making use of Red Book audio, Rondo of Blood's music is incredibly impressive, a moody, orchestral symphony of tracks that complement the visuals perfectly. Tracks such as Picture of a Ghost Ship, Opposing Bloodlines, and Vampire Killer are especially memorable. All in all, Rondo of Blood is definitely still good today, ranking among the most challenging and impressive of all Castlevania titles, even when compared to its sequel, Symphony of the Night. Rondo of Blood is the perfect Halloween game, despite the fact that it compels you to pull your hair out in frustration most of the time, owing to the insane challenge that this game offers. Well, shit, in the end I did manage to finish it, but man does it make a person mad. Oh well, better get back to work. Busy. Oh, and happy Halloween. Have you played Rondo of Blood? And if so, how would you rank it alongside past and present Castlevania titles? Well, that's it for this week. As always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this special Halloween episode, then please give it a thumbs up, comment, and most importantly, subscribe, and click that bell icon wherever it may be to ensure that you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep playing retro.